YouTube, new video, man. 6 animals that are so annoying that predators and competitors leave them alone.
There are many iconic predator-prey relationships around the world, but not all of these relationships are one-sided. Prey animals have developed a variety of different defensive mechanisms and behaviours, and some of them are so effective that predators rarely bother them. Some animals are so toxic that predators would be stupid to try and chow down on them, and others can ruin a predator's day by piercing them with quills. Strangely, you don't always need to go into battle or use chemical warfare to convince a predator not to attack you, as being really annoying also works. Some animals annoy and frustrate predators so much that the predators learn that they aren't worth the hassle, and this allows relatively small animals to survive in some of the most competitive ecosystems in the world. In today's video, we'll be going through some of the most annoying animals, and we'll start off with the most famous example.
The honey badger?
If the honey badger was a relatively shy animal that kept to itself, then it's likely that the vast majority of people wouldn't know about its existence. Of course, the word shy definitely doesn't suit the honey badger. Wouldn't know about its existence. Of course, the word likely that the vast majority of people wouldn't know about its existence. Of course, the word shy definitely doesn't suit the honey badger, as it lives for chaos and its attitude is one of the only reasons why it's able to survive in some of the world's most competitive ecosystems. The honey badger has a massive distribution across Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent, and these areas are home to some of the most formidable land predators on the planet. They commonly have to face big cats such as lions, tigers, and leopards, as well as giant snakes, hyenas, and crocodiles. You wouldn't blame an animal the size of a honey badger to be cautious in areas where these predators roam, but instead they strut around the place like they own it. This mammal is part of the mustelid family, and animals in this family tend to be extremely powerful and feisty for their size. This means that they'll usually choose to fight instead of fleeing, and their confrontational behaviour often confuses larger predators. They seem to be shocked and confused that such a tiny animal is challenging them, and the relentless fighting style of the honey badger means that most predators abandon attempts to hunt them. Now, if the honey badger had attitude and nothing else, it's likely that there would be many dead honey badgers littered across Africa and India. As well as having the attitude of a gangster, they're also pretty indestructible, and they are renowned for their intelligence and their problem-solving abilities. They have thick, loose, rubbery skin, which means that most bites and stings have little effect, and it's not uncommon to see a honey badger get strangled or booted around the place and then get up as if nothing's happened. Despite this, most large predators would be able to successfully hunt the honey badger if they really wanted to, but because they are so annoying and feisty, most predators choose to avoid them. As I covered in a recent video about animals that fight back against and outsmart orcas, in most cases the prey animals were successful when they proved to the orcas that they would be too annoying to hunt, or that they weren't worth the hassle or the risk. This might sound like a stupid strategy at first, but it's extremely effective, and it helps if you're an intelligent animal. Honey badgers in captivity have proven what great escape artists they are, and one name that's gone down in history is Stoffel. This individual was known for repeatedly escaping his enclosure at a wildlife rehabilitation centre, and when he would escape, he would often cause mayhem and try to fight lions in a neighbouring enclosure. Wow. This story not only illustrates their intelligence, but also their warrior mentality, and this combination means that they demand respect wherever they are found.
Honey badgers are so cool,
Giant river otters are the longest otters in the world, with some specimens measuring 1.8 meters long and weighing up to 34 kilograms. This size is needed to keep them safe from predators and to catch their desired prey, as they are found in some of the world's most biodiverse aquatic ecosystems. South America's rivers are home to more freshwater fish species than rivers on any other continent, and on land there are always predators that look to the water for an easy meal. The fish of the Amazon can be dangerous under certain circumstances, and its murky brown waters can hide true giants. The giant river otters do have the superpower of being another member of the mustelid family. Giant river otters do have the superpower. Brown waters can hide true giants. The giant river otters do have the superpower of being another member of the mustelid family, but you could argue that their teamwork is far more important and useful in their day-to-day lives. They are highly social, far more important a member of the mustelid family. But you could argue that their teamwork is far more important and useful in their day-to-day lives. They are highly social and live in extended family groups, and this helps them to catch their prey and keep safe from predators. Even though there are some giant mysterious catfish and sharks that could prey on them, danger mostly comes in the form of giant caiman and jaguars. To deter these predators, they'll often relentlessly pest giant caiman and jaguars. To deter these predators, they'll often relentlessly pester and harass them, and their agility in the water makes them incredibly hard to catch. If you're looking for a group of these mammals in the wild, then you'll likely hear them before you see them, as they use a variety of high-pitched squeals and squeaks to communicate with one another.
Yeah, I don't care, bro.
This racket alone is enough to persuade some predators to leave the area, but if they try to approach the giant river otters, then it generally doesn't end well. They'll often work together to nip and distract the caiman in a coordinated effort, and this makes it hard for the caiman to latch onto a target. Once one otter bites the caiman, another will soon dive in to distract it, and this puts the caiman in a no-win situation. Depending on the size of the caiman, the otters can sometimes turn the tables, as in some cases the otters will eliminate the caiman and chow down on them. Of course, this is not possible with the largest black caiman, so this is where the distract and annoy techniques are needed. You'd assume that when faced with an animal as formidable as the jaguar, they would switch up their strategy, as these big cats are incredibly powerful and often crush the skulls of their prey. Surprisingly, this is not the case, as there have been multiple instances where giant river otters have been witnessed standing their ground and using their numbers to their advantage. Even in the rare cases where an otter has been caught off guard, other members of the family will return to make sure that they can escape. In some cases, other to their advantage. Even in the rare cases where an otter ground and using their numbers to their advantage. Even in
look how close he got without them noticing. Nah, that's actually crazy. My camera not froze. It's not froze? Okay. That's actually crazy, bro. Look how close. They didn't even know.
In the rare case,
scared all of them. They were probably sleeping.
Is where an otter has been caught off guard. Other members of the family will return to make sure that they can escape. In some cases, they will even charge at the cats from the water, and this is sometimes so effective that it actually intimidates the jaguar and causes them to flee. So not only do these otters annoy other predators so that they can dominate an ecosystem, but they can also work together to scare off the most formidable predator that they come across.
My little miracle is Beckett. You look great.
Like water wolves.
A month after his third birthday.
The life of your average pinniped is rarely carefree because there's a long list of animals that would happily take a bite out of you. In the water, you have to dodge attacks from sharks and arguably the most formidable predator in our oceans, and there are often dangers on land too. Pinnipeds are generally pretty clumsy on land, and this leads to certain land predators taking advantage of this. In the Arctic, seals have to keep an eye out for polar bears, and certain freshwater seals are sometimes targeted by brown bears. Some lion populations have started to hunt seals pretty frequently in Africa, and the coastal wolves of Canada and Alaska have been known to pick off harbour seals from time.
I didn't even know lions and seals like clashed environments, bro. I didn't even know like their environments mixed.
And the coastal wolves of Canada and Alaska have been known to pick off harbour seals from time to time. It would be pretty impossible for seals to annoy and outwit land predators as they are so clumsy and vulnerable on land, but it's a very different story in the water. Now, you wouldn't blame seals or sea lions for being terrified of sharks and orcas, but these animals have shown us that they can be incredibly brave. As I covered in a recent video, pinnipeds are masters of mobbing behaviour, where they follow the predators at a close distance, which makes hunting almost impossible for them. This behaviour is most commonly witnessed along the coasts of South Africa and Australia, and it's proven to be incredibly effective. The sharks lose the element of surprise, and it warns other animals in the area of the shark's presence. It must take extreme bravery to follow such a dangerous predator so closely, but eventually the sharks are forced to give up and look for an easier meal. In some cases, they are even able to outmaneuver and hunt the smaller species of shark, and in some very rare cases, they will even mob orcas. This behaviour is rarer as it's much harder to mob orcas, but it can be effective if enough seals or sea lions commit. So it seems as though some pinnipeds have come up with the perfect annoying strategy to deter sharks, and sometimes it'll even work on orcas too. The sloth bear is a pretty formidable animal in its own right, but it's not exactly an apex predator. The vast majority of its diet is made up of insects and fruit, and it has certain adaptations that help it to destroy termite mounds and ant nests, and hoover up all of the insects inside. If the sloth bear was found in a less competitive ecosystem, then it's likely that it would be a pretty chilled out bear, but like the honey badger, it needs to be feisty and bulletproof to survive. It has a massive range across the Indian subcontinent, and this means that it has to face predators such as tigers, leopards, and mugger crocodiles, and dangerous herbivores such as Indian rhinos and Asian elephants. These dangers have moulded the sloth bear into an extremely aggressive animal, and if you happen to see one in the wild, then it's a good idea to keep your distance. Even though these animals have no interest in hunting us, they are extremely
bear mauls father and son to death before trying to crush forest guard in fit of rage.
Dangerous to humans, and they are more likely to attack us than most other bear species around the globe. Between 1950 and 2019, there were 1,337 sloth bear attacks on humans, and this aggression is a response to evolving in an ecosystem with so many apex predators. When a sloth bear meets a tiger or a leopard, the first thing that they do is make themselves look large and jump up and down. This is a technique used to try and convince the predators not to try their luck, but not all of them are deterred by this display.
Yeah, he wasn't going for it. He was like, oh, for real? He's like, for real? He's like, oh shit.
But not all of them are deterred by this display, with tigers often choosing to attack. Like the honey badger, the sloth bear has loose skin around its neck, and this means that it's very hard for the tigers to land a killer blow. They'll also fight back with all of their might, and they'll go for the sensitive areas of the attackers. And their indestructibility and never give up mentality often results in the tigers and leopards giving up on the fight and fleeing. A fully grown tiger is more than capable of hunting your average sloth bear, but they seem to be so annoying and hard to pin down that most of them just avoid the bears. This means that only the largest or the most desperate tigers will go through with going for the kill, but their explosive, aggressive defense can result in injury for the tiger. So the sloth bear seems to have a lot in common with the feisty honey badger. And if you see these bears in the wild, please don't try and get a picture with them, as I'm sure they really won't appreciate it. Springboks are extremely athletic and rapid antelopes, with some of them capable of reaching speeds of up to 88 kilometers per hour.
I never heard of
this speed is needed to outrun many of the predators across southern Africa, with the cheetah being one of their speediest enemies. Because they are so speedy and agile, most predators across their range ignore them, unless an old or weak individual is spotted. The fact that they are so hard to catch would be annoying enough for most predators, but this antelope exhibits a strange behaviour that we are still yet to fully understand. Springboks will often jump up to 2 meters in the air, and when they do this, they usually keep their legs straight. It's believed that the springboks do this to display how fit and healthy they are, and they do this both to attract mates and to confuse and annoy predators. This behaviour has been given the interesting name of pronking, and it's derived from the Afrikaans word for showing off. It's been suggested that the springboks do this in the presence of predators to confuse or distract them, and it may be a way to tell them that they aren't worth hunting. In a way, it's like the springboks are saying that they are so fast and healthy that not even a cheetah would be able to catch them. And if you're an African predator, this must be pretty frustrating and demoralizing. Imagine trying your hardest to sneak up and chase these speedy antelopes, and after you failed your attempt and you're trying to catch your breath, the springboks are pronking around as if to say that it wasn't even hard to escape. This mocking behaviour means that the springbok is fit for a place on this list, and there's a good reason why so many animals choose to ignore them.
Yeah.
At Chamberlain
I would too, bro. Imagine you chasing the animal with all your might, and then when you get tired and stop, he's just jumping around.
Now the spotted hyena doesn't really seem to fit into a video like this, as it's a pretty giant predator in its own right. I feel like it does deserve a place on this list simply because it's the most annoying animal in Africa, and their success revolves around how they can annoy all the other animals in their ecosystem and how they can control them. In popular media, spotted hyenas are often portrayed as scavengers and nothing more, but they actually hunt more than lions do, and they can take down animals as large as African buffalo. Despite this, they do steal meals from all of the African cats, and they wouldn't be able to do this if they were alone. In some instances, lions will pick off unfortunate hyenas, and their young are sometimes snatched by leopards. Female hyenas are the largest sex, with some individuals reaching weights of around 86 kilograms. Even with this size, if the hyenas were solitary, they'd likely be picked off, and the fact that lions live in prides makes the danger even greater. If a hyena is caught on its own by a group of lions, then it will probably end badly, but the same can be said when the roles are reversed. Like the giant river otters, they are known to use teamwork and coordination, and they'll take it in turns to attack the lion. This technique can be used to eliminate even large male lions, but it only really works when the lions are outnumbered. The reason why these animals are so hated across their range is because they have become masters of stealing the spoils of other predators' hunts. When a leopard or a lion sees a group of hyenas on the horizon, they know that trouble isn't too far away. The hyenas will test the response of the cats by getting closer and closer to the kill and even trying to steal some scraps, and they often aren't put off by the charging attacks from the cats. They'll constantly test and nip at the predators so that they are unable to relax and consume their meal, and eventually, if the hyenas are persistent, the lions or leopards will abandon the kill altogether. If this wasn't bad enough for the cats, the hyenas appear to be constantly laughing at you while this is all going down. But this laughter is just a form of communication.
I hate hyenas, bro.
The hyenas giggle or laugh when they are stressed, frustrated, or excited, so it's common to hear them giggle when they're battling one of their natural enemies. Without their bullying and harassing behaviour, it's likely that the spotted hyena would be a lot less successful, and I'm sure the vast majority of African animals would be a lot happier if they disappeared. Of course, there are many other animals that could have made it into this video, so if
That's a good video, bro. We're on a little animal arc. Let me know what y'all think about it. Y'all like seeing animal vids? I like watching animal vids. Let me know what y'all think, bro. Until next time, be safe.